Colin, we made it. We're here. Pretty much New York, New Jersey here. Tell me, dude, how are we feeling after last weekend?
Yeah, made it to East Rutherford. I almost said Foxborough, but they're all starting to blend in, especially up here in the Northeast. Yeah, last weekend was just okay for me. Definitely kind of struggled in the main. Just my intensity wasn't there early on, and that definitely hurt me for my end result. I needed to. I actually got an okay start. I think I crossed the finish line lap 1 in like 10th, and Marchbanks kind of ran me wide after the whoops, and I actually had to roll the rhythm. I went back to 13th right away, and yeah, no problem. No problem. The disrespect out of this guy is just nuts, dude. Anyway, what I was saying, sorry. Yeah, I just, early on in the race, I just needed more intensity, and yeah, in the end, it just definitely hurt me. And then I ended up losing my clutch with like a lap and 3/4 to go, so I was just kind of surviving. I only lost one spot, though, luckily, ended up 15th, but yeah, far from where I want to be. So yeah, this weekend looking to rebound and be back up there, get some good starts, and have that intensity early in the race. And yeah, I want to be back inside the top 5.
You excited about the conditions this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said it, rain or shine, I'll be ready. Obviously, I don't mind the mud, but yeah, it's going to be nice to have some beautiful weather and not really have to be worried about the rain coming or not coming. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend. We definitely have some really nice weather. I think it says it's going to be like 80 tomorrow, so a little warm, and being from Florida, that's going to be nice.
And last weekend, the track was kind of, no one really knew what it was going to be or how it shaped up. So after the end of the night, how did you think it kind of worked out?
I mean, for what everyone was preparing for, I would say the track was unreal. Like, especially in first qualifier, like going out there for track walk, I was like, oh boy, like this is probably about to be another mud bath, which obviously, like I said, I don't mind the mud, but it just makes for a very stressful day, like all around for everyone, especially my mechanic, Chris. He's got to work his tail off to make sure that bike stays running all day. But yeah, so by the main event, it almost felt like more of like a Indy style track, which I like those conditions too. It was super rutted, and I think the track was like, I think on TV you would have never even been able to tell that it rained, so that was cool. And I would say the first qualifier was just a little squirrely just because the pockets were so wet. But yeah, overall, dude, the track was like a normal night, and it came around so good for what it could have been.
Yeah, buddy. Well, like I said, I think tomorrow, beautiful day, so it's going to be great. So looking forward to watching you out there kick some butt.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm looking to have a good day as well.
Got a little different number going on the rest of the season, dude.
The big 15, dude.
The old man.
The old man. We're both old men, dude. Just trying to get this job done.
Tell me what that transition's like for you as a mechanic to go from one rider to another, like mid-season like that.
Luckily, I've known Dean for a while. Friends, through the sport, and it's been good. Like, it's been a little bit more lax. Not that I'm not doing my job. Everything gets done proper, but I don't know. I don't want to say there's no expectation, but it's just a little bit lighter. We still want Dean to. I mean, he qualified great last week. That's all we can really expect, and then just dusting the rust off and trying to put our best finish in. The man.
Last weekend, it was kind of, you guys didn't even know what to probably even get ready for.
Right. It was showing up. I'm like, dude, first time with Dean, showing up to kind of a mutter, raining all day Friday, and I'm like, this is going to be a shit show. But it actually turned out, track was pretty good. It was demanding. I think it was tough for a lot of the guys with the deep ruts and whatnot. Bit sticky. But we showed up, made it in the main, and did the best we could there.
I bet Dean brings a good vibe around the pit, too, for everyone.
Absolutely.
Probably keeps it fun for
everyone.
Keeps
it light, which is actually good for me, missing quite a few rounds with my main guy. It takes a toll on you. You want to be out there racing. But to jump in with a guy like Dean has been pretty awesome.
Say Dean didn't happen and you were just out a rider right now.
Yeah.
They still keep you busy?
Yeah. I mean, 4 or 5 days a week. The weekends off, been cool, hanging with the family, going to do like little activities and stuff. That's actually been the greatest part of it. It was almost hard to leave that, come back racing, but we got a job to do. So family understands, and yeah, just come out here and do what we can.
All right, buddy. We'll have fun tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Cheers.
All right. It's good to see you back at the races.
Yeah.
This is the first one, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. I think my last Supercross race was Salt Lake City last year, so yeah, I'm stoked to be back. It was a bit longer of a recovery than I anticipated, but better late than never, right? So we're here.
Tell me a little about the recovery process for you and getting back on the bike and everything.
Yeah, so I broke my wrist at the beginning of December, and I ended up with a plate in it from the bottom of my pointer finger, actually, to like midway up my arm to like right here. So my wrist was locked for like 3 months, I think, and then I went back in for another surgery, got all the hardware removed, and just started physical therapy, being able to try to get the range of motion and stuff back. And I did probably like a week or so of that. Ended up on the turn track, just riding around and feeling it out, and then just slowly graduated. Rode the turn track probably a week, and then the outdoor track for a week, and then messed around with some Supercross, and then I think I've been on the Supercross track full time for like the past 2 weeks. So 4 or 5 days riding since. But yeah, feeling good and ready to go for tomorrow.
Well, looks like you picked a good one to come back because the last couple were a little rough to try to jump back into maybe.
Yeah, I was maybe trying to make the mutter, but it didn't work out. Wasn't feeling that good around that time, so yeah, I decided to wait off that weekend. And then obviously last weekend was the East-West shootout. So yeah, I figured it would just be better to come back to a normal East race and try to avoid the weather.
So is your goal pretty simple this weekend? Just get it to the night show, get through the weekend?
Oh, I mean, yes and no, of course. Like, it's simple, but at the same time, I have a job to do, and I want to go out there and prove a point of why I'm where I'm at. So that's my goal, man, is start up front and run up there.
All right, man. We're looking forward to watching you back out there tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you back. You came out here last weekend. Not the most ideal conditions to probably jump right into, and tell me about it.
Yeah, last weekend, it was probably the worst conditions for me, being that the pockets were just so soft, and you kind of get that, like, you either endo and case something or you OJ it by a little bit, and that was the hardest thing probably for my arm. But we may do. I had a pretty safe weekend. I took it pretty easy with some of the big rhythms that I would normally jump right off the rip, and it definitely cost me because I was riding a little bit nervous. I put myself in a good position in the LCQ, but Chiz kind of came into me, and I got a foot in the front wheel, and the race was over after that. So, but we came out safe. I had a good week of training this week. Starting to feel a little bit better, so just happy to be back and be out here with the boys.
How long have we been back on the bike?
I would say it's been probably almost 4 weeks now. I did a week on the turn track, and then I had 2 weeks on a Supercross track, I would say, something like that. I took it pretty slow, to be honest. I mean, I started riding before my doctor wanted me to, but my arm was doing really well, and I was confident in it, and it wasn't giving me any issues. It's funny, my arm is what I broke, but my wrist is what bothers me, just like the swelling in my wrist. So it's just kind of been managing that, but honestly, it's been really good, and just kind of getting back into the flow of it. I feel like I lost so much fitness and just confidence in my riding, so that's been the biggest thing, trying to get it back and get my flow back a little bit.
Yeah, and what's when it comes to making that decision to like jump back into the races, is it just as soon as date and just don't care where it is, or is it more like, hey, you know what, outdoors is around the corner, we need to get some gate drops, get the conditioning up, let's get to Supercross, get racing?
It's definitely, I definitely wanted to be smart about it. I didn't want to rush it. I knew I would be back before the end of the season. I wasn't exactly sure when. I've never had surgery and had a plate put in, so I didn't know how it was going to feel, especially getting back on the bike. So I didn't want to rush it too much. Like, I think I truly could have gotten on the bike sooner if I needed to, but I'm happy with the timeline that I got with. I mean, I went racing in 8 weeks, basically, from the time I broke it. And so it's hard to argue with that from having a completely snapped in half arm. So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely like you have to play the game of what's going to work best for you and what's best for your future. But Supercross has always been my strong point, so I wanted to make sure I got as many in as I could, because I'm not going to race the first few outdoors. I'm going to race the few after that. So, yeah.
And then just for like this weekend, your goals, right? I mean, I think we have some obvious goals, but is there any other goals you might have in mind?
The big one for me is just good starts, putting myself in a good position. I've worked a lot on my starts, and I think that I am a good starter. I end up in so many bad situations that after looking back on it, I put myself in. So if I can just try to put myself in good situations to set myself up for good results, that's the biggest thing, right? Obviously, I want to be back in the main events. I don't have a huge main event goal at the moment. I just want to get in there, put in my good laps. 15th is a relative spot I think I should be around, but if I get in there and I'm riding around in 17th to 19th, like at this point in time, it's something I would take.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, at least, like I said, the weather's holding up, so might be a better track tomorrow for you. And then, cool. Good luck out there. Looking forward to watching you out there.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.